Greetings, programs, and welcome to ArcNeo Reviews, where today we're doing a little bit of a, kind of a pseudo-emergency review, and we're actually going to be taking a look at Titans Return's Mindwipe. And you're probably going, what makes this an emergency review? Well, when I'm getting ready to record a video for any of my figures, I actually have basically a lidless shoebox that I throw them in. You know, I'll mess with a figure for a few days, decide, yeah, I think I could do something with this, and I put them in the box. Again, important to note, lidless box. There's no pressure going on these guys other than, you know, maybe the one or two figures that get sat halfway on top of them. So today tonight I guess, when I was going to get some figures out of the box to start, recording, this section of his wing, the tip here, was laying in the box on its own. This guy was on top of the box. He had no pressure on him, and it's not like I have kids or, anyone who's gonna go in there and mess with my stuff when I'm not there. But yeah, for some reason, as you can see right there, the split on that side, and right there, I've glued it back together. It seems to be holding fine, but yeah, for some reason that was just in the box. I have no idea what happened. Apparently Optimus Prime came and shot him or something in the wing. I don't know. But I'm going to get this guy reviewed so that I can get him kind of safely tucked away and not have to worry about stressing this piece of his wing anymore, just in case my glue job doesn't hold up. So far it's doing well, but I want to be safe. So, that aside, as you can see, he does turn into probably one of the better beast modes I've seen of any figure. And this beast mode actually in particular is the reason I wanted him so bad. Because, let's face it, a figure that turns into a really good bat like this is kind of impressive. Some things to note, the final sections of each wing, the head, or the bat head, and these back wings are made out of that soft plastic pseudo rubber that Hasbro likes using for stuff. So yeah, the reason that this wing is bent over there is I looked at it funny on a warm day and it bent that way. So in a few days when it gets warm again, I'll look at it funny the other way and it'll be back in shape. I've had to bend these things back and forth like that constantly. So do be aware of that. His accessories are actually completely stored on him. They both merge together to form his very, very flat, kind of awkward looking tail. But it works. It definitely works a little better if you do remove the gun, which is a little tricky because that is a very, very deep peg hole. But if you pop the gun out, you get a little more of some sculpting on it to help sell it as the tail a little more. Wings are segmented all the way down, which is really nice. So you can get him in some good, bat-like wrap his wing around him poses, which is pretty cool. Yeah, his robot feet are just hanging out on the back side of his wings, but overall, with what this guy has to do, I think he does it pretty darn well. And if you want, obviously, while he's like this, you can go ahead and, plug a gun right there on his wing or something. So, anyone who knows the Titans Returns stuff knows that this was the return of the Headmasters. So, for this guy, his chest actually is a cockpit where his little Headmaster rides around in him. I want to say that the bodies are called transtectors, or at least they used to be. Something like that. Basically, this is your robot. This is the armor/vehicle that they use. At least, again, that's how it was, how it is in some continuities. They have never been able to make up their dang mind on how they really want to say that whole thing works. But Let's go ahead, get him out of here. I know with it for a fact in the Titan's Return line, the little Titan Master, Headmaster guys did have separate names from the rest of the vehicle. I cannot remember this guy's name, so while I'm struggling to get him out of here, I will pop up his name on the screen. I'll look it up. 1 second. Okay, finally, yeah. There's a little slot right there that the back of his legs peg into. They peg in really, really well on this one, so he can be a struggle to get out. And once you finally do, you get a little tiny, barely painted, but pretty well sculpted little, you know, inch-tall figure with an upside-down face on his back. So, this guy does have a little posability. His legs can bend either way at the knee, as well as he does have, basically he has a sit joint. And then his arms are on little tiny ball joints, so they can move in and out a little bit, and you can rotate them until they run into the face. I'm basically going to refer you guys back to this video for any other Titan's Return videos I do, because every single Titan Master is exactly the same. They just, slightly different sculpting will be on them, and a different head on the back. But they all have exactly the same posability, and it's not worth going over a million times in every video. So, to get this guy ready for the robot mode, just go ahead, fold up his legs like that, turn him over, there you go. You're done. So let's get on to the main body here. First thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and remove the tail the rest of the way. This will be his other weapon. Get this gun out of the way here. And the way this guy transforms is actually really, really cool. I know that other than the wings, there's not really any posability in this mode. Though I did forget, you can open the mouth. It's got little painted silver teeth, which I love. But other than that, you know, it's pretty much a brick mode, but the wings are pegged into the back of his legs. So you're going to unpeg them from there, as well as there's little tabs coming off of these rubber smaller wings that peg in as well. So you're going to unpeg those at both points, just kind of bring them out. So get off the foot, unpeg it from there, bring it up, get it out of the way. You know, bring down the bat head, and it will come down and sort of peg. As you can see, there's a little slot right there, tab right there. It'll halfway peg into there, just enough to, it will stay out of the way actually. And turn it over, fold down the legs, and already you can see where the hands are, so you're just going to unpeg and straighten out the hand, or the arm, then pull out the hand, and spin it around. Same thing on this side. Rotate the shoulder down, pull down the arm, flip out the hand. And worth noting, there is a convenient little, this kind of square corner right there. You can very easily just push on that to get the hand started. And they do lock in pretty well. So, rotate that around. Get into position. I went too far because I'm switching between real life view and viewfinder view. That is incredibly confusing to do. Then the legs are where it gets really, really kind of cool actually. An extra step you can do, you don't have to. I like to bring the legs just kind of out all the way and rotate the hip joint just to get that small pin showing. Though I believe technically it is supposed to be the larger side of the pin facing forward. I'm not sure. That's something I do. You can do it if you want. I'm not going to do it here. But bring down the leg. straighten it out there, fold down the foot, and then just start wrapping the leg up. And then at the final section, this little tab here will go in right there. And it's not a super tight connection, but it doesn't matter because basically there's like soft, soft locking points in each of these joints anyway that holds everything in place. So just go ahead, get everything in position, and then spin the leg around. Same thing on this side. Bring it down, foot down, wrap the leg around itself, tab in the rubber final tip, spin the leg around. And try to straighten everything out because I've been making an absolute mess of this guy. So, last thing you're going to want to do is take the little wings here, rotate them around on this. Then, once they're back here, if you want, you can fold them out to give him kind of that, good bat-like presence, or leave them, folded back, keep him a little sleeker. For fun, I'm going to leave them out. Though, when you're trying to be serious about posing, it is usually better to leave them folded back, just because the backwards feet right there above his elbow do kind of get in the way. But after you've done all that, go ahead, take his little headmaster guy here, and you're going to take the tiny robot head there, and you're going to put it into this little square peg right there. And as you see, there's two little notches on the front of it. Those will go, if I can get to focus, right there, kind of on the back side of his head. So, let's go ahead, pop it down in. And you have Mindwipe in robot mode. And I love this guy. I love the way he looks. He's just got this really cool, almost vampire look to him. Even without any, blatant fangs on the head sculpt. Just that look of unamused, unimpressed, the wings, the black and purple. He does a good job of keeping the bat feeling, even, if not thinking about the fact he does still have visible bat wings, if that makes any sense. So, and a nice little detail, while it doesn't come down, they have molded the chest on this guy to look like it can fold down. That's because all of the original G1 Headmasters, when you popped in the head, they actually had little, like a tech, stat readout hidden under a flap on the chest. So you'd pop this down, shove in the head, and you'd actually see their little stat bars go up. But, yeah, overall, really, really cool design on this guy. Other than the bat head, he manages to be very, very low kibble. Actually, impressively so for any kind of beast former. So, posability-wise, he does have a... his shoulders themselves are on a swivel, so you can actually kind of shift them back and forth and up and down a little bit. Then the shoulder itself is on a ball joint, so you use those two together, you get a lot of range out of these shoulders. And, of course, free rotation there. Bicep swivel just under that. Double jointed elbow, so you can get, complete range right there. Nothing at the wrist unless you want to just start putting the hand back down in, his forearm there. The head is on a ball joint, because I forgot to mention the head of the Headmaster is a ball joint, so, ball joint is retained here since it's still the same head, the exact same joint in this mode. He's got a full waist rotation, so you can, spin it all the way around if you need to for whatever reason. And worth pointing out, he is new enough that it's when they started actually putting figure stand ports into the figures. So you can get him on a stand, have him in a flying pose if you want. Legs go out way more than they need to. We're talking like full-on black belt karate master mode there. He can kick forward all the way, kick back basically all the way. He's got a swivel right there at the thigh. He does actually have a pretty good knee bend, despite the how big his legs are. And then while there's no ankle tilt, the foot is molded at an ankle, molded at an angle, and you can shift it back and forth. Mine's a little bit loose. I need to give it either some, clear fingernail polish or, bit of a floor polish or something, but either way, really good range of motion. I can, you can make him dab if you want to. We will never speak of that again. So, really quick, let's go ahead and bring his weapons back in. So, he's got his gun that I'm too stupid to hold. Just molded in straight purple, but pretty nice little design on it. There's some sculpted detail down there in the hole that I, once again, don't have good lighting to show. But, pretty nice little gun. And then he's got his tail, which you can either use just like this. Obviously you take the peg and bring it down to be the handle. And you can either have it be a twin blaster like this, or come underneath, flip out this little black piece, and turn it into basically predator claws. And then you can either put it in his hand, or, especially if I'm using it in predator claws, I like to put it up here on the forearm. It stands out a little bit, but it works. It definitely works and does its job right there. Then go ahead, just give him the gun in his other hand. But yeah, overall, despite the weirdness that happened with my figure, this is a really, really cool figure, and I really recommend picking him up if you are able to find one. He's definitely one of the trickier to find Titan Returns figures. Even when they were coming out and brand new, it was a nightmare trying to find this guy. I had to get mine secondhand, which is why I don't know the name of his headmaster and stuff like that. But definite must-have figure. Great remake of that G1 figure. And yeah, again, I love this thing. You should get one if you collect Transformers at all, or even just action figures in general. This thing is cool. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.